Thank you for downloading the Everyday Thong pattern. Start by printing out your pattern and measure the test squares. I've printed out every size on A4 paper but will be sewing a size small. If you have Adobe on your computer, you can select the specific size layer before printing. Lay out your pattern pieces. When you cut it out, make sure that you do not cut away the white border on the paper. The seam allowance on all of my knit patterns are 0.7 centimeters or a quarter of an inch or the width of an overlocker stitch. The fabric that you will need for this tutorial is a cotton spandex blend. I got mine from Spotlight. Tape it together. I haven't included a grain line on the pattern. You will fold over your fabric horizontally from the selvage. This should be the greatest direction of stretch. Place your front and back piece on the fold and cut it out. I personally trace it before cutting it out as it can get a little awkward to cut. On a plain piece of cotton spandex, cut out the gusset. This one is not to be cut on the fold. Cut out the elastic according to the size chart. You will need one waistband and 2 leg bands. I'm using a 15mm fold over elastic from AliExpress that I will link in the description. Head over to your sewing machine and overlock or zigzag stitch the top edge of the gusset. This is to prevent the edge from fraying. If you're using an overlocker, don't allow the blade to cut off any excess fabric. Place the front piece down with the right side facing up and the back piece on top of it with the right side facing down. The right side is the pretty side of the fabric or the side you want to show when wearing the garment. Place the gusset on top and pin all 3 layers together. Overlock or zigzag stitch along the bottom edge of the 3 layers. Place the corresponding sides together and stitch along the edges too. Lay your garment down flat and pull the gusset towards the front. This should conceal the stitching under the gusset. Pin the gusset down to the front piece. Place a small straight stitch on both sides of the gusset. Make sure it is up high and very close to the edge. Fold over elastic usually comes with a shiny or matte side. Since I want the matte side to be showing on the underwear, I'll place both matte sides together and straight stitch the ends closed by 1 centimeter. Do this to each individual piece of elastic. Using the stitch end as a guide, fold the elastic in half and pin both ends. With both pins centered, fold it in half again and pin both ends. Repeat this process to the waistband area of the underwear. Using the pins as a guide, pin the elastic onto the waistband area of the underwear, making sure that the side you don't want to show is facing down onto the fabric. This is a method I use to space out elastic evenly, seeing as it's going to be shorter than the waistband. Set your machine to zigzag stitch and set it to a wide stitch. I've used a stitch length of 6 on my machine. Place the elastic under the presser foot with the fabric sandwiched in the fold. When you stitch it down, you will need to pull the elastic to the length of the fabric in between the pins. Do not pull the fabric or the result will end up being wavy. Make sure to backstitch. This process is very fiddly and you will need to adjust and reassess the position of the elastic every few stitches. It does become easier with practice though. If it's sewn correctly, the elastic will lay flat when it's laid out. The corners might poke out on the joint of the elastic. Trim them away. Repeat the same pinning process to the elastic on the leg holes. I make sure to place the joint of the elastic towards the back of the underwear to hide it. Zigzag the leg holes down, remembering to backstitch. Now you're all done. If it's sewn correctly, it should look like this. I hope that you love your new handmade underwear.